Hello, 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 and welcome back to the BFA Baby Podcast. I'm your host, Taylor Hartman, and let me just start off by saying Happy New Year. It is officially 2024, and if you've been listening in, you know that I had talked about the podcast coming back the week of the 15th, but some things have moved around, and we are officially back to the podcast. We were a few weeks early, getting back into the groove of things, and I wanted to celebrate the first podcast of 2024 by talking about all things the new year. We're going to talk about goals, dreams, hopes, ambitions, a few things that I've been loving and will continue to love leading into the new year. We are drinking some water today. So let's just hop right into it. It is 2024. I feel like the only one that's been saying this because I haven't heard it from anyone else, but I feel that 2024 is my year, guys. This is my time to shine. We're gonna do it, we're gonna slay. And I thought that we would talk about a couple things. On the Instagram, I posted a list of 2024 ins and outs. So I'm gonna start with that, and then I also made a TikTok, and I was like, I'm gonna expand upon it in the podcast. So I'm going to. So I thought it would be fun to kind of talk about these ins and outs for 2024. So if you've never seen an ins and outs video, or you've never seen anyone post their ins and outs, basically it is just people saying what they think is going to be in, what they want to happen, things that should continue in the new year, and then their outs are things they don't want to continue in the new year. Pretty simple. A lot of them are person by person, and I'm just really excited to talk about these. So we're going to start with our ins. So my first in is bedtime's no later than 10 p.m. So I try my best to be in bed at 10 or a little bit before 10, usually 10:30. And that's obviously without any outside circumstances. So we had rehearsals that went till 11:30 for fall dance concert. Obviously that's going to change it. But if it's a normal day, I'm getting off work, whatever, if it's not a rehearsal or a show or something, I'm in bed by 10. And I think that prioritizing my sleep has allowed me to be so much more awake and present during the day. And then obviously if I do want to take a little nap, I'll take a little nap, which we're going to talk about naps. Actually, are we going to talk about naps? I'll talk about naps here because we're talking about bedtime. Dude, I love a nap. Everyone knows that I love a nap. In that's not on the list but needs to be in for 2024, we have got to stop villainizing naps. Naps made us so happy as kids, and they continue to make us happy as adults, but we're just villainizing these. You are not lazy because you take a nap. You're not. I mean, obviously, don't let your nap get in the way of doing your job or your school or whatever. But if you know that you have a period of nothing to do and you're caught up, take a nap. You'll feel better, you'll feel refreshed, especially if you're a performance major. Everything you're doing is so physical and so emotional, every single day. Take a nap, get that extra sleep in there. But with that, we're not villainizing naps anymore, but with that, making sure that you're getting to bed at a good solid time, and that allows you to get a full 8-9 hours of sleep before you have to wake up for the next day. For me, that's 10 p.m. 10 p.m. works really well, but it might change depending on you and your schedule. So 10 p.m. and it's a joke in my friend group that 10 p.m. is my my state mandated bedtime, because everyone knows I take my sleep very seriously, and I think it is so critical for my recovery and emotional energy the next day to keep doing all of the things that I love to do. Next thing on the ins is sobriety. Sobriety. Just take care of your body. Stop putting things into your body that are actively harming them and are actively, hindering your ability to move forward. If you go out all Saturday and then you're hungover all Sunday, that's one more day that you could have been, actively resting. You could have been working on your passion project, but you were sick and hungover, and I get that like going out is a release for some, and I'm not here to villainize it. I'm not here to villainize going out. I'm not here to villainize consumption. However, I think that we should continue to do it mindfully. And for me personally, sobriety is in for my 2024. You know, I like the ability to wake up fresh and clear on a Sunday. Sundays are my big reset days. So just being able to like hit the ground running when I wake up, I really enjoy. And just having like fresh memories of the night before. If something, you know, we did something fun on Saturday, especially like if we went to go see a show, you know, having fresh memories of that show and that experience. And also just for my body, you know, I don't know if I've been too terribly open with it on the podcast, but maybe I'll go into it at another time. But with my prematurity when I was born, a lot of my body isn't as fully, you know, there as it should be. And like, you know, I don't have the strongest lungs, and obviously it takes a lot of breath and a lot of support to dance and sing and act. And I've been working a lot on that lung support with the limited capacity that I have, and just, you know, getting away from areas where there's going to be secondhand smoke and, you know, vaping and whatever, you know, just kind of protecting my body in that like kind of sobriety bubble is in for my 2024. And I think that's really going to help me benefit to continue to work on all my passion projects and my school and my dreams and my goals, and just have a calm, like grounded body and mind for it. So definitely sobriety. Leaning into something a little less serious, I think costume parties are so in for 2024, dude. We've thrown a couple costume parties, like themed parties, here, at the apartment, and they are just so much fun. They're fun because you can like look at your closet in a whole new way, you know, maybe find some pieces that, you know, you haven't been wearing in a while and kind of repurpose them. And also it's just fun to like be creative and hang out with your friends and eat a cool meal and just wearing a costume. I just think costume parties are so fun, and just kind of let everyone let loose and have fun. And I definitely like it in the way that you do get to just use stuff in your closet and be creative, and it's just a super fun way to unwind. And like we usually do our costume parties with like food, then we end up usually playing games. And just like seeing everyone come in their character is like, it's so much fun. Definitely want to throw some more costume parties in 2024. Another in that I have is auditioning for everything. Literally just start auditioning for everything, because the worst that they can say is no. And we're going to talk about that in a bit with the outs, but the worst that they can say is no. And at the end of the day, that's one more audition, that's more dance experience, you know, you learned a fun combo, that's your face in front of more people, you know, your resume, your headshot, your person. The worst that they can say is no, and that means that because that door is closing, something better is coming out for you. I literally started auditioning for everything. Like one of my biggest audition for everything moments was like end of 2023, but like bleeding in 24. I literally auditioned for the Hamilton tour. Do I think I'm gonna get it? Knock on wood, probably not. But was it fun, and did I get to learn a cool combo from one of my favorite shows? And are people out there to see me? Yes. Someone watched that tape, and now that they are aware of me when I come back in the future, and audition, like, you are getting out in front of people for every single thing that you audition for. It is getting your face out, it is getting your person out, it is just getting you out in the world. And also, you know, you're learning other skills. You're learning to pick up choreography, to pick good song cuts, you know, schedule out your time to have time to film these auditions if they're tapes. Just audition for everything. There is a learning experience for every single audition, and who knows, maybe the thing you're auditioning for is the thing you're gonna get. I don't know. And I'm saying that kind of to you, but also to myself as I rack up auditions for summer stocks. Just audition for everything, see what's out there, the world is yours. Next up for ins, we have honing new skills. I think that one of the biggest things that we can do as artists, and we're gonna kind of talk about it in like 1-2 bullet points, is just having skills outside of your art. You know, just hone new skills. And it doesn't even have to be something like marketable. You know, it's not like I'm learning gymnastics so it can be on my, you know, it can be on my special skills section on my resume. Like, just do something, hone a skill that serves you as a person. And maybe that is something that you can then market yourself. You know, I really want to get better at screenwriting. You know, so I'm reading a bunch and watching a bunch, kind of honing that craft. And yeah, it's marketable. Geez, I can't say that word. Marketable for me, but also it's just something that kind of fills my cup. Hone a skill that fills your cup. And again, it does not have to be even creative. You know, it doesn't even have to, you could just take up, you know, reading, hone the skill of being able to, you know, read a whole bunch of books. You know, take up like crochet, like hobby crafts, like painting. You take up a skill that you are not good at. Take up a skill that you are not good at, but you enjoy doing. And I think that will help us then pull away from the perfectionism that all of us artists really tend to fall into. I think that, you know, having that perfectionistic tendency, especially us dancers, it's kind of like dug into us, like from day one as dancers. I think that having that skill to be like, I'm not good at this, but I'm gonna show up for this hobby because I enjoy doing it, and I do not have to be inherently good at something to enjoy it. I think that is a really big thing to kind of pull away from your perfectionist tendencies that get kind of wrapped up in your brain. Yeah, so hone a new skill. Who knows, maybe it'll be marketable and you'll get a job from it. Who knows? Next up I have journaling. So I kind of want to talk about this because I had an interesting experience like October to December of journaling, and I'm kind of changing it up as I move into 2024. So I bought this really cute journal. You can see it in my Gifts for Dancers video. It's like navy and has a little gold dandelion on it. I really love my journal. And I started off doing like a traditional like Pinteresty bullet journal, okay? You know, I was like, we have some good logs, we can like track some stats, we have some like art, it can be kind of creative. And I liked that, and I liked setting it up every month, and you know, I have a little Polaroid section and everything. But it sort of became like a chore to like fill all these logs out, and like I just didn't feel like I was getting anything out of like the bullet journal format. You know, I liked the creativity of it, but I was just like, it just felt like a chore, and I was just like doing it to get it done. I wasn't like really putting my heart and soul into it. So I decided that after December, we're gonna just reformat the whole thing leading into 2024. It's just gonna become a throw-all journal. And I started January off. I had my little January page and my little Polaroid. I did love that I had like a picture from the month and like a month title page. I did really love that from the bullet journal, so I kept that. And I wrote some goals down, some action steps, which we'll talk about in a minute, you know, how I'm gonna get there. And just a whole bunch of stuff like that. And I really felt like it was a big shift for me, because I'm realizing like, this is it's gonna sound so stupid, but like, this is my journal. It doesn't have to look like anything. It doesn't have to be anything. I'm doing this for myself. So being able to like separate that, I was able to be like, I'm not a failure for like finding a journal format that doesn't fit me and then switching it in the middle of the journal. Like I'm using my journal and loving it, and that's honestly one of the skills that I want to start honing, you know, like just being able to journal and adapt to what is and isn't working for me. And I think that's applicable in many places in your life. And I just like using a new format. So like now I'm just gonna kind of like, I have some action steps for some goals. I have like stuff like that. But I think now I really just kind of want to use it to write. I just want to be like, I have this idea. The like choreography ideas could go in there. Pictures, snapshots, literally anything, like thorns and roses, something good, something bad. If I need to like just get something off my chest, you know, being able to look at my journal as a vessel for myself rather than like it has to look a certain way. It's not performative. Journaling is not and should not be performative. It should be helpful and beneficial to you. Yeah, so journaling, I think, and journaling in a way that is like beneficial to you and helpful to you, that's totally in for 2024. Totally in. Okay, so next kind of goes with auditioning for everything, but I think something that is in for 2024 is chasing every single dream. Chasing every single dream. I've always seen myself as just a dancer, but I've been working in training, and I'm getting more into my singing. You know, I'm getting more into my acting. I want to get into filmmaking. I recently worked on a short film with a grad student group here on campus, and I loved it. I loved the atmosphere of the set. I loved the creativity. I loved the fast pace. I want to get into film more. You know, and that's a separate dream I have. I wrote a novel. You know, I want my novel to get picked up. Like, we will, in the wise words of Taylor Swift, Miss Americana, we will not be condemned for being multifaceted. We will not be condemned for being multifaceted. You are so much more than just the one thing that you are. And I think something that is helping me with that chasing every dream thing is start talking about yourself in settings where it's how you want to be perceived. That's like, hold on, let me word that better. Introduce yourself in settings on what you want to accomplish. Hi, I'm Taylor Hartman, I'm a choreographer. Hi, I'm Taylor Hartman, I'm a professional dancer. Hi, I'm Taylor Hartman, I am a screenplay writer. Hi, I'm Taylor Hartman, I'm a novelist. Hi, I'm Taylor Hartman, I'm a future New York Times best-selling author. You know, stuff like that. It's like, you know, in Tick Tick Boom, the film version with Andrew Garfield, it's on Netflix if you haven't seen it. Totally go watch it. But it's the film version with Andrew Garfield, and at like one of the opening scenes, he throws a party at his apartment, and one of his friends brings like this coworker named Scott, who's like a finance bro, and he's like, I love the artist parties for the drugs, you know, stuff like that. And Jonathan Larson, lovingly played by Andrew Garfield, he's the one that's throwing this party. He's a struggling artist, but he's like making a good time for all his friends and family, and he's like really drunk at this party. So he's talking to Scott, and you know, Scott's like, I work in finance, and the artist parties are cool for the drugs, and he doesn't like get the whole art thing, the like La Vie Boheme, boho days type energy. And fed up with the lack of respect he has for his art, Jonathan, in his drunken fervor, goes, I'm the future of musical theater, Scott. Like, just point blank demands it. I am the future of musical theater. You know, and it's a funny little tipsy moment that gets you a look into the character, but also, we've got to start doing that in our day-to-day life. My favorite TV show is Hollywood on Netflix, and my favorite character is Claire Woods. And in one of her, like, the first episode, I think it's like the first or second episode where you get to meet her, like, for real. She's sitting at a table with the lead of the show, Jack Costello, and she goes, well, Jack, if you want something, you have to declare it. If you want something, you have to declare it. She says, don't say, oh, I'm taking acting classes, and she, like, takes his cigarette out of his mouth and, like, smokes it. She's like, say, yes, I'm going to be a star. If you want something, you have to declare it, and we are taking that energy into 2024. We are taking that energy into 2024. If you want something, you have to declare it. I am a star, I'm a choreographer, I'm a professional dancer, I am booked and blessed. If you want something, you have to declare it. Shout out Claire Woods, Hollywood on Netflix. Shout out Tick Tick Boom. Shout out Jonathan Larson. Yeah, so chasing every dream, indent, if you want something, you have to declare it. I really, really, really love that. Next in is having a life outside of your art. This kind of goes with that honing a new skill. You know, all these ins kind of build off of each other. Yeah, so having a life outside of your art. I've been really bad in the past, and I know I've talked about this in my teaching and choreography episode. I like totally talked about this, but it's like, just because you work doesn't mean you can't also have fun, like that work-life balance, you know. So this year, 2024, I really want to, you know, get out, have fun, see what's out there beyond the art. You know, don't be so uptight, as they call it. But I think with that, still sticking to your goals is really important, you know. If you have a goal that you want to prioritize your sleep and you want to stay sober, you know, kind of like what I'm talking about, you can still do that and uphold your goals and still have fun. And people that don't appreciate, don't acknowledge, don't, you know, that kind of look down on your goals for that, like, oh, you gotta drink with us, you're so boring, like, those aren't people you want to be around. People you want to be around and have fun with and get outside your box with are people that acknowledge your boundaries when going out, when having fun, when whatever, and they don't judge you for that. You know, conduct your life how you want to conduct your life, and I want to stick to my boundaries for myself, because I know that will keep me the safest and will keep me the healthiest. But also just kind of have a little more fun in the new year, especially as life gets a little more stressful. Kind of have some fun in the new year as we're doing more in school, we're working for more professional things, we're chasing more dreams. You know, just kind of let loose a little bit every now and again. Just, you know, open, you never know who you're gonna meet when you go out, you know what I mean? Something else I have is lowering your screen time. I think I have such a bad habit of like doom scrolling, which is so bad, and it's like so embarrassing to admit it, but like I really do, and it's like so embarrassing, but I will just like doom scroll. And something that I started in the new year, I started it I think like December 30th, I started to kind of like ease into it. I got an app called Screen Zen. Let me get like real good and close to the camera here. It's called Screen Zen. It's purple. Like the app cover is purple. And basically you can select apps that, you know, challenge you, that distract you. So like my two big ones, I have Instagram and TikTok. And basically you can set it to how many opens you have per day. So I have mine set to 5 opens per day. And I'll tell you some things. So pause time, 5 seconds. So every single time I open the app, there's a screen that comes up and a little circle, and you watch it count down. And with every subsequent opening, the time that it takes to unlock gets longer. So it goes, the first time it's 5 seconds, 6, 7, 8, 9, up to 10. And then you can have it set to where the app is you can only unlock it so many times, and then it's only open for so long. So I have my unlocking to start at 5 seconds, and the app will be open for 7 minutes, and then it locks down, and if I want to keep using the app, I have to use another one of my unlocks. And then I have another message. You can put a little message to like pop up whenever like you're watching it count down. Mine is, your dreams won't chase themselves, XO. Little kiss, little sweet little kiss. But yeah, so it's just kind of a reminder that like, is this really beneficial for you? And obviously, you know, I will like use the app. Like if I'm gonna go post something for the Instagram, or if I'm gonna upload a TikTok for that day, like I'll just wait and I'll unlock it. But it's like seeing that screen and having it be like, and you watch it unlock, it's like, if you know that you're not going in there for work, you know, it's like, do I really want to use one of my unlocks right now? Like I'm just waiting for the elevator, I'm in the elevator, do I want to use one of my unlocks right now? And then you just never come back. And it sounds silly and contrived, but it's honestly been really beneficial, and it's helped me see like, oh, I do kind of rely on constant exposure to stuff, and it's obviously it's not good, it's not healthy. So lower screen time's definitely in. I've been using Screen Zen for like 3 days now, 4. I really enjoy it. I think it's great. It's had me, it's really like turned the mirror on me, and I've been able to be like, oh, I'm like on my phone a lot. Let me like reassess, like, is this helping me grow, you know? And yeah, so if you're like kind of like, oh, I want to lower my screen time, I don't know where to start, I liked Screen Zen. This is not sponsored, but I did like Screen Zen. So yeah, those are all of our ins for 2024. I'm gonna leave a little conversation starter at the bottom of this podcast episode. Tell me your ins and outs for 2024. I'm excited to read them. So let's get into those outs. So a major out for 2024 is doubting yourself. What we do is difficult. What we do is hard. What we do is not easy. You know, so if you have a bad class, if you have a bad voice lesson, if you have a bad rehearsal or whatever, stop doubting yourself. It's such a BFA thing. It is such a BFA thing. And I always think of my friend Ryan when I talk about this, because he talks about it a lot too, and I appreciate his openness and his honesty about it. Like that BFA imposter syndrome. Like, do I deserve to be here? Should I be here? Am I good? Like, everyone else is so much more talented than I am. Like, no. We are putting up an X for that one. We are not doing that anymore. We are not doubting ourselves. You are where you're supposed to be. You are getting to where you are supposed to be. Everything, you are getting to where you're supposed to be. And I just wanted to just shout that out on the podcast. You know, we all feel that way. We all have that imposter syndrome type energy. And I really want to pull away from that in 2024 and just, you know, you are talented, you are gifted, you are brilliant, but you work hard and you have the ambition and you have the drive, and all of that is going to help propel you to where you want to go. You know, life has no timeline, and I think that comes with the doubt too. It's like this person's already done all of this, and haven't even done, you know, like this person already has like so many professional shows under their belt, and I haven't even done one. And like, you are on your own timeline, and your timeline is not to be compared to anyone else's timeline. And I think that is the most important thing I have to say about self-doubt and how we are leaving that in 2023. We are coming into 2024 fresh-minded, ready to go, ready to slay. The next out is taking an audition loss to heart. This is something that I've really grown in since coming to college. And obviously there's going to be slip-ups and stuff, but I've really been working on understanding that when I don't get a call back, when I don't book something, it doesn't mean that I'm not talented, I'm not worthy, I wasn't meant to be in that room. You know, like, all you can control is that you go into that audition or you film that audition and you put your best foot forward. That's all you can control, is that you put your best foot forward and you worked really hard, and the right doors will open for you, and the correct doors, like the doors that are meant to close, will close for you. So yeah, just we're going to continue to not take audition losses to heart, just because, like, I mean, there was an audition last year that I thought I was like in it for, like, there were some signs that the casting team was giving me, and it was like, it very much felt like you're in. And then I didn't get that call. I never got the call. And, you know, that was really heartbreaking, because it's like I kind of felt let on, but also like it's meant to be like that. You know what I mean? Like, it was, I don't know what I see now, but I know that after that, like, whatever is coming for me would not have been able to happen if I took that gig, if I got that gig, you know? So, you know, feel your feelings. If you're sad, you can be sad, but just don't let it ruin your drive, your passion, your love. Don't, you know, feel your feelings, but don't take it, like, to the center of the heart, you know? And out that's sort of in, like, the bridge between dancer, artist, and life. And out is, like, clothes and stuff that doesn't serve you. I spent my December 30th, like, right before New Year's Eve, just cleaning out my drawers and my closet, and I was donating clothes, and I was selling clothes, and I was throwing stuff away that didn't serve me, and, like, it was just such a good, like, clean out, new start to the day. I really enjoyed it. So just, if you have clothes that you haven't worn in like ages, sell them for money perhaps. Donate them. I sold some and then donated some. Just kind of on that, just, take a day every now and again, just kind of clean up, reassess where you're at, see what you can take away, what doesn't serve you. And that decluttering of like my physical space really helped me kind of like clear out my mind and be like, okay, fresh start in the space, fresh start in the heart, fresh start for the new year. I really, really recommend you do that at the start of this year if you haven't already. And out that kind of goes with screen time is going right on social media when you wake up. So like I have my alarm on my phone, and every now and again I'll like get up to snooze my alarm, and then I'll immediately open Instagram. I'll immediately open TikTok. I'll start texting people. It's like, no, okay? We are not doing that anymore. We are not doing that anymore. And I think Screen Zen is really helpful with that, but we are not doing that anymore. Right when we wake up, I'm starting to drink some more water right when I wake up, like not going straight to coffee, which is also a big thing, like not going right to coffee, to get some more water in. It's a big goal for me this year, get some more water in. So just kind of reassessing that morning routine. Just reassessing that morning routine, and we are done getting rid on social media when we wake up. It'll turn your brain on, it'll kickstart your day, but is it really kickstarting your day in the most mindful way? Probably not. Probably not. And I think as I've come into the new year, I've had a couple days to warm up. The best way I've found to kind of, when I get up, I turn my alarm off and immediately turn my phone face down, go to the bathroom, skincare, brush my teeth, whatever I need for the day. I'm very good at getting like right up when my alarm happens, but like definitely just not doing social media right when you wake up. Like it can wait. Maybe I'll scroll through my notifications, and if it's like a pending email, I'll look at it, but like shutting the alarm off and immediately going to like TikTok, like we are not doing that. We are not doing that anymore. We are not doing that anymore. A big out I have for 2024 is ignoring your gut feeling. I am such a big gut feeling person. I'm such a big gut feeling person, and we are not ignoring that. Like I'm pretty good at not ignoring my gut feeling, but I just kind of wanted to shout that to anyone else who has been ignoring their gut feeling. We are not doing that in 2024. Your body does not lie to you. Your body does not lie to you. And if you have that gut feeling that's telling you to go do something, that gut feeling that's telling you to not go do something, don't do it. If you have a gut feeling that's like, ooh, this place is a little unsafe, leave. Your body will not lie to you. We are not ignoring our gut feelings anymore. And especially if it's a gut feeling towards something you want to do. Like I had this idea for a film, perhaps a short film, but a film that I wanted to write. And I had this gut feeling that was like, do it. So I'm not going to be like, oh, but what if it doesn't go anywhere? What if I waste all this time? No. My heart and my soul is like, do it. Chase those dreams. Chase those dreams. We are doing it. And yeah, so we are not ignoring our gut feeling in 2024. Our bodies want to keep us safe, and we are going to continue to honor that in the new year. Stop ignoring your gut feeling. It's not helping anyone. Next is waiting for the right time. Newsflash, put up a big banner. The right time is never gonna come. And I heard this a lot growing up, as like parents would tell like new young parents that, like, you're never gonna feel ready to have kids. That is so prevalent in all aspects of your life. You're never gonna feel ready to audition for that big thing. You're never gonna feel that it's the right time to break into a new industry, like I'm trying to kind of find my footing in the writing world. You're never gonna feel that it's the right time to, whatever you want to chase, if that's a new career path, if that's just a new skill you want to learn, a new industry, if that's love, okay? like, you're never gonna feel that it's the right time, and it never will be. So just stop waiting. Just fucking do it. We are fucking doing the things in 2024, and we are acknowledging that what is meant for us is going to come to us and is going to find us. What is meant for us is out there. It is out there. And something that I'm kind of was like up last night, like thinking about, I was like, oh my God, is like, this is gonna be such a detour on the podcast today, but like love, right? Like people around me are falling in love, you know, we're getting January, February, like Valentine's season, you know, whatever. And I was like, that romantic love is something I don't feel, I haven't felt often. And it's like, there is never gonna be a right time. There's never gonna be a time, like a right time or a time where you feel ready to let someone into your life, especially when you lead such a polarizing life as an artist. You know, a lot of people, especially where I'm at, especially where I'm located, do not get what is going on. Like I come from a very, not even just in my family, but like in the state, in the region that Missouri is in, it's very much like, oh, why would you go do that? Who would want to go live in New York? You know, work a 9 to 5, have kids with a white picket fence and settle down, you know? And, you know, the person that is out there and that will love you, if that's something, you know, that Taylor Swift Invisible String type thing, if that's something that you want to, you know, subscribe to, go for it. But even just like putting yourself out there as someone's like, hey, I think I kind of want to let someone into my life and maybe it'll be fun just to see what it's like. You know, there's never going to be a perfect time. You're never going to feel ready. Chase everything you want to chase, because if you keep waiting for the right time, it's not going to happen. It just won't happen. So just stop waiting for the right time. We are not waiting for the right time in 2024. We are just going after every single thing that we want. So next up we have tying your worth to your art, which I think kind of comes with taking an audition loss to heart. You are not only the piece that you submitted to a festival. You are not the success of your screenplay. You are not the success of your performance. If you get a bad review, that does not define you as an artist. You know, yes, our work in our art is so internal, and it's like your heart and your soul is in there, but it doesn't have to like and just like stab you right there, twist the knife, whole type of thing. You know, leaving that bit of distance between like, yes, putting your heart and soul into the work, but once it's done and once it's out to the public, being able to reel that whole piece of your heart back in and just being like, this is my finished piece, here it is. This is my performance, here it is. This is my screenplay, here it is. Like, acknowledge that you did put your heart and soul and life into it, but also just being able to, you know, retract and be like, okay, I did it, I loved it, I lived it, here we go. And being able to retract and know that if people don't understand it, if people aren't receptive of it, that isn't a drag on you. Art should be polarizing. Art should make people talk. Art should make people think. Art should make people dream. And your worth is not tied to what other people think of your art or how your art performs. All you can do is put your heart and soul into the art and then create that distance when it gets into the audience's hands. You know what I mean? Like, create that distance, put your heart into it, but be ready. Just be ready for it to maybe not be received so well. And if it is, like, let's say it's received really well and like all the reviews are glowing and the audience just loved it. Let that gas you up a little bit, but don't let it absolutely throw the dart and miss the dartboard the next time. You know what I mean? I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but one good piece of work doesn't mean every single piece of your work is going to be good. And one bad piece of work doesn't mean that every single piece of your work is going to be bad. You know, take it piece by piece, accept the love, accept the praise, but also accept the lessons learned, accept the rejection. Don't let it determine how you look at yourself, your art and how you continue to create, just love it. Just love it. Love what you do, create what feels right, and what it happens to it when it gets in the audience's hands is completely out of your control. Let your art, when it's finished, let your art be out of your control. That's something I'm bringing into 2024. Let your art be out of control. Out of your control when it gets into the audience's hand. Next up, we have judgment. We are not judging anyone in 2024. Let's talk about it. We are not judging people. I'm thinking, like, I'm imagining audition rooms, BFA, like when you're in your classes at school. But also sort of audition rooms type beats. We are not judging people for how they dress, for what kind of shoes they wear. And I mean this all to say, like, here's a silly example. Like, I do not own a pair of Laducas. I don't. I wear, like, block character shoes, 3.5 inch, whatever. And sometimes I'm in an audition and I'm like, oh, everyone else has Laducas, and I'm just, no one cares. Literally nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody's looking at your shoes and being like, oh, she's not serious. She doesn't, no one cares. We are not doing that. And if you are doing that, it's like, what are you doing? Like, what? Your head is in the totally wrong place. You know, we are not judging people. We are not judging people for anything. Especially in the art, because art and performance is such a personal journey and a personal expression. Like, just let people do. Also, we're not judging people for what they do and don't book. We're not judging people for showing up at an audition. It's like, oh, you're not right for this role. It's like, who the fuck cares? Who the fuck cares? We are all chasing a dream. We are all working our asses off. We are all on a team together. We are on a team. We're on a team. And we need to kind of act like that more. We're not judging people for their talent. Like, oh, she's a bad dancer. I'm better than her. We're not doing that. We are not doing that. We are especially not doing that on social media. We are not doing that in group chats. We are just loving and working together, I think, is what we need to, the energy that we need to bring in to 2024, bring some positive vibes in. And lastly, for my outs, we are not winging stuff. We are not winging things. And I think this comes in with the idea of what like not taking the audition loss to heart. Because if you go in there and wing an audition, like you just show up and okay, like more than likely, it's not gonna go well. I'm sorry, but it's not. More than likely it will not go well. And I think that the biggest thing is just to kind of look at it on your own and be like, okay, I know that I prepared my hardest, I worked, I practiced my song a bunch, whatever. Knowing that you worked that hard is critical. And I think that's the biggest thing, is being like, I know that I worked so hard, and that is able to put that distance between you and the casting. But if you just like wung it, it's like you have no gauge, because then you kind of have that like, oh, but if I actually like trained, would it have changed? Type beat. There's no question. There's no question. So we're not gonna wing things. We're not doing that anymore. So yeah, and I wanted to close off with something fun that my friend Layla did that I kind of copied her. It is 2024 bingo, and I lovingly called it 2024 bingo Taylor's version. Here it is. And it's just like 9 of my top goals that I have, and I kind of want to talk about some top goals that I have, and then we will be on our way to celebrate 2024 together. So here's some top goals I have. I want to create 3 new dance pieces. So I've really become, really come into my own as a choreographer. I'm like finding my voice and who I am, and I created a piece last season and I just really loved it. And I'll create pieces for the students I teach and whatever. But yeah, I want to create 3 new pieces in 2024. And obviously we're gonna spread those out. Like, it would be awesome if I had the like creative capacity to just knock 3 pieces out like in January, but obviously, I want these pieces to represent me. I want these pieces to be beautiful and exciting and creatively challenging. So definitely gonna spread them out. I have a whole year to do it. That's a side reminder. 2024 these goals do not have to be completed in January. Oh my god, like it sounds so stupid, but like I feel like there's so much pressure to like succeed right off the bat, like knock these goals out as fast as you can, and like it's just not like that. And it's just not. And you know, you have 52 weeks to spread these goals out, take your time on these goals, really live in them, really love them. So yeah, I want to create 3 new pieces. I want to have 1 piece staged for our spring dance concert in 2024. We have auditions for that very soon. So before then, I'm gonna like get the piece. I know kind of in my brain what I want it to look like, how I want it to act and feel and whatever. I really have a goal of getting a piece staged for spring dance concert. And then lastly, I want to make a dance film. I want to make a dance film. I really have a side goal of getting into photography this year. So I'm gonna buy a camera here pretty soon. I'm doing some camera research, but I would love to make a dance film in 2024. Even if it's like stupid and bad and amateur, you're learning. Make bad art. Let's talk about that. Make bad art. Make stupid art, make art no one cares about. You're learning and you're growing and you're practicing and you're honing your craft. Make bad art, and I want to make a dance film, good or bad. Next, I want to write a short film. We kind of talked about this, like breaking into the new film industry. I would really love to work in film at some point. So I definitely want to write a short film. I want to take my little hand at some screenwriting, and I've been kind of learning and researching and everything. I want to make money off this podcast. A huge goal I have for myself is I want to start making money off this podcast. And that kind of goes into a new social media strategy, which I talk about in my journal. It's in my room. You know, I have a social media strategy. I want to grow this podcast. I want to grow the Instagram. I want to start making money from the things that I love and get the podcast out to more people. Also, I want to have straight A's. I got straight A's this past semester in the fall. I've been on the dean's list 3 for 3 semesters, and I want to keep that energy going. Work really hard in school, you know, because working really hard in school, getting good grades, and also having all these other dreams, you know, it all kind of balances out. You know, if you work hard in all your areas, everything will come out strong. I want to keep getting straight A's. I really liked that sense of accomplishment. Like, I worked my ass off for it, of course, but I really enjoy that sense of accomplishment. So next is Her Skin, His Bones, my debut novel that I wrote over last summer, and I've been querying out. I have a goal that this novel gets picked up this year. I submitted to over 150 agents, and I'm just now playing the waiting game, which is, it's good. More performers should become authors, because this is, like, authors that I follow on TikTok are like, the waiting after the queries is so hard. It's like, we've been doing that. You wait after every audition and like biting your nails to the cuticle. Like, it's so natural. So like, I'm not even really feeling the wait. And it's also just been good practice because I've had a few rejections so far. And it's just good practice to then tie it back to my auditions. It's like, this doesn't mean my dancing, my acting, my singing, my book. It doesn't mean that it's bad. It's just, you know, it's just not that casting director. It's not that choreographer. It's not that literary agent's cup of tea. And that's okay, because that means that the role, my dancing, my book, whatever it is, will be put into the hands of someone that loves and appreciates it. So I have a goal that my book gets picked up in 2024. And the last 2 kind of go together. So I want to only have homemade coffee, and I want to complete the 100 envelope saving challenge. So if you don't know what that is, a 100 envelope saving challenge is you get 100 envelopes and you label them 1 to 100. And by the end of the year, the goal is that you have cash in all the envelopes that corresponds to the number. So like, you have a $1 bill in the 1 envelope, and then like the 65 envelope, you have $65 in there. And by the end of the challenge, if you like 1 to 100, that's like $5,000 you've saved. And as I get to the higher stages, the upperclassmanship of my college experience, I'm looking down the barrel of one day moving to New York. Not one day, like soon moving to New York. So I really want to keep saving up. I have a couple other saving goals. If you want me to talk about that, maybe in a TikTok or a reel or something, you know, for the Instagram, I might talk about those, like saving goals as a performer. But I think, and a big step I want to make to that is making coffee at home. Like, I have my beautiful coffee maker back here that you can see, and you know, I have, like, I'll make coffee at home, but then it's also like, I'll drink my coffee in the morning, whatever. Like this is just a thing that I do. You know, talk about my coffee routine. A bunch of podcast episodes back, I talked about my coffee routine. But it's like, and then it's like throughout the day, I'll be going to work and I have a long night. I'm like, let me go buy a cup of coffee. No, like we don't need to be doing that. We have all the stuff here. If we want more coffee, we can make more coffee here. With our coffee maker is not only in use in the morning, we can make our coffee at all times. If we want more than one cup, we can do that at home. You know, type B, like small little habits to like keep saving up money, picking up side hustles, stuff like that. So yeah, get into like saving, like mindful saving, and this 100 envelopes thing. Like I'm very much an out of sight, out of mind. Like I have my little envelopes in a cute little box, and if that box is closed, I'm not thinking about it. And I mean, yeah, like we have a change jar, so I like went and cashed our huge thing of change in, you know, put that money into savings, you know. So 100 envelope challenge is something I really want to push myself to achieve in 2024. And then one other note that I kind of want to end on, that's not on my bingo card, but it is one of my goals, is I want to start taking breakfast seriously. Like I in the new year, I want to start eating meals for breakfast. Let's talk about that. I'm very big on like water and coffee in the mornings. I'm getting bigger into water. Definitely coffee. I've always been big on coffee. But I find that I have a habit of like, I'll drink a coffee and then just go to the gym and then I'll go to my classes or whatever. It's like, can we start eating a meal? Let's start eating a meal. Let's work on that. Let's start eating a meal. You know, just starting to eat meals, taking breakfast as a meal with food that is filling and energizing and will support me throughout the day. Taking that more seriously is so important, and I'm learning the importance of that, and I'm wanting to bring that importance into the new year. So yeah, I think that wraps up the New Year podcast. Lots of goals, lots of dreams, lots of ins and outs. And I'm going to leave a little poll at the bottom. I'm so excited to hear what you guys have to say about it. Tell me your ins, your outs, your goals, your dreams, your lives, your loves, anything you want to talk about in the poll down below. Be sure to rate and review the podcast on Spotify. And follow the Instagram at BFA Baby Podcast. If you want to follow me, I am Tayda's Ballet on Instagram and TikTok. And there'll be so much more interaction on the Instagram over there. Polls, Q&As, what you guys want to hear on the podcast. Be active over there so I know that my content best serves you guys. Share the podcast with your friends, and I cannot wait to talk to you in the next episode. Thank you for coming on this journey with me. And once again, Happy New Year! Love you guys so much. Mwah.